We're getting spooky today. Hi, Daria.
Hi.
It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
You are the author of Aftertaste.
I am.
It is such a good book, and it's perfect for this like spooky season, autumn, Samhain. Hi, Kate from the future here. Just want to pop in real quick and mention that it's not actually pronounced Samhain. Everybody knows that. I know that now. It's pronounced Samhain. Samhain. It's one of those. It's pronounced like that. So yeah, if you enjoyed this flub, you're in luck. Keep watching, and I'll see you soon for another mispronunciation.
Get your ghosts here.
Yeah, get your ghost fix for sure. Do you want to tell us what Aftertaste is about?
Yeah, Aftertaste is the story of a man named Constantine who loses his father when he's 10 and a year later starts to taste the flavors of ghosts from the other side. And he experiences these fully composed dishes in his mouth, never having taken a bite. He doesn't know what's sending them, who's sending them, why. And it really freaks him out. And so he does what a lot of people would do as young teenagers. They compartmentalize it and put it away. So he doesn't engage with this gift or curse for a long time. And then he's in his 30s, he's working in New York City as a dishwasher, and he experiences one of these tastes. And he decides to finally act on it, and he makes this cocktail. Lo and behold, it brings a ghost back for one last drink with somebody that they love. So this sends him on a whole journey to open a New York City restaurant serving closure. Along the way, he falls in love with a party psychic named Maura, and he discovers that everything that he's been doing to presumably help these spirits maybe has not been so helpful.
Yeah. It's such a great journey, and there's like some really cool twists. But it's also, I mean, it's just like universally relatable because if you're just a human being, you know, if you're a grown-up adult who's reading this book, like you've probably lost someone or know what it feels like to experience loss and grief. And I found this book really moving and really like tender because it, you know, asks all these questions of like, what would you say to somebody if you could have that chance? Yeah. And it's just it's very sweet, I think.
Oh.
Sweet and salty, you know?
Sweet, salty. It's got all the full gamut of flavors. Yes. I feel like it's definitely a book that's about grief and loss, but it's also a book that tries not to be heavy all the way through.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you accomplished that for sure.
Thank you.
And it's also about New York City. Like it's such if you have any interest in like either like the paranormal and spirits and the spiritual world, or also like gastronomy and like food, like the way that you describe food and meals and stuff is just so rich and like layered and made me hungry.
Yeah, I always say it's a food story, a ghost story, and a love story. It's like those three things kind of triangulated around each other. But if you love food, if you love culinary throwdowns, if you love eating in restaurants, if you love the bear and restaurant culture and cooking shows and grew up with the Food Network, like this is a book for you very much.
Yeah. Definitely. So it's basically a book for like almost everybody, pretty much.
Whatever you want, whatever you're hungry for, come and read this.
Exactly. I'm gonna light our candle, I guess.
Our ghost candle.
Our ghost candle.
I love it.
Just to honor all the spirits that may be hanging out with us today.
Yeah. And they're always, I mean, I believe that people we've lost are always around us, so.
Yeah, let's get into that. So let's put right leg in, left leg out. We're gonna inhale the arms up. And exhale, bend over that left leg. I was wondering if this like world and kind of like environment that you put forth in Aftertaste in terms of like the afterlife, if that's something that you think is actually true, or like, is that what you imagine the afterlife to be like?
So I grew up always being really fascinated by and interested in different takes on the afterlife. So I loved mythology. I loved, you know, Hades and Persephone and Orpheus and Eurydice and all of these visions of an afterlife that's like fluid, like you can go and you can kind of come back.
Yeah.
And when I started to think about this book, it originally came to me as this weird little scene of this guy in a Hell's Kitchen apartment plating this dish of food. He looks like he's never cooked anything in his life.
Yeah.
And when he sets it on the counter, all of a sudden the spirit comes back in this glittering firework light to sort of eat the food. And I was really interested in what that meant and unpacking that. And so I started to think about, if food is the thing that brings a ghost back, then what is the makeup of an afterlife that enables that?
Yeah.
And so it started to coalesce around this idea of this food hall in an afterlife, this place where, food and memory, particularly, like the memories tied to foods that we eat, are this kind of currency, like the ferryman's coin, if you will, that can bring you back and forth.
That's really cool. Food as memory is currency. We're gonna move into flower pose for Fleur de Sel. Fleur de Sel has a starring role in this story.
Yes, it is the best salt, and it becomes this sort of symbol throughout the book for the main character and his girlfriend's love.
Yeah.
It becomes this sort of shorthand for them loving each other and how they say, I love you.
I love it because it's like, so we're just gonna slide underneath. There we go. This is a flower.
I love it. It's like a lotus.
I love it because it's like, so many times people equate like Valentine's Day romance with like sweets and like sugar and, candy, cakes, whatever.
All the vernacular, like if you listen to love songs, like it's sugar, oh honey, honey, like it's all very sweet, but their love isn't like that. Their love is much more, salient. Like they've both been through stuff. They both lost people. They've experienced things that only another person who's kind of gone through it like can see them fully. Yeah. And so when they meet, when they see each other and they can kind of like balance that out in one another, it didn't feel like a sweet love to me. It felt like it was more complex than that. Yeah. So salt felt like a natural kind of way to expose that. Yeah, we're just gonna take some cat cows and warm up the spine. I love that. It's definitely a more complex take on like romance or like love. It offers like a lot more nuance because love isn't always sweet. Even the best kind. But salt is also addictive. So I feel like there's that element to it too. Oh, that's so true. Let's curl the toes under. We're gonna push back to downward facing dog. And then let's lift that right leg up in the air and pull it forward in between the hands. And we'll come up for warrior one. As everybody has to ask you, like, what would be your aftertaste meal if somebody was trying to summon you from beyond? Okay, so first I should probably explain what the components of an aftertaste are. So an aftertaste is a meal or a flavor that brings you back to somebody that you've lost and you've been connected to very deeply around food. So the particular meal that would bring me back is a dessert that they used to serve circa 2012 at the Jules Verne restaurant in Paris. Oh my gosh. Which is on the Eiffel Tower, which I only know because that's where my then boyfriend, now husband, took me to propose to me. And we ate this chocolate cog that was delicious. It was like this mousse and hazelnut and praline situation. Yeah, speaking of sweets. And then we went out onto this balcony and he proposed to me. Oh my God. And it was perfect. Like it rained, it was just lovely. And so that would be my aftertaste. Let's do humble warrior in honor of Constantine, who is a humble warrior. Definitely. He's going to bat for all of the spirits that he's trying to help, for sure. And he like resists the call for a while and then he heeds the call and he tries to do right by them. Yeah. Has some unintended consequences, but here we can pull it. He rises to the occasion. Yeah. Here, let's come all the way up. And bring the hands to prayer at heart center. We're gonna move into eagle pose and then phoenix. Oh boy. Yeah. I'm gonna balance. I'm gonna try. So let's lift that left leg. Oops. Oh my goodness. And these mats are so foamy so that they're like, you can wrap it around the right and to whatever extent is possible. And then, let's see, right arm under the left to create the eagle arms. I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, over. It's so hard to balance on this. Okay, maybe. We are. I think I got it, almost. Amazing eagles in flight. I'm more like a turducken, just like a chicken inside a duck inside a turkey. More like, like. Okay, so. What are you even doing if you're not having fun doing yoga? I know, exactly, I know. One more time. So up.
Left leg up, yep. And then wrap it around. I'm already wobbling, oh my gosh. Around the right.
It's not us, it's these mats, I'm telling you. We're extremely coordinated in place.
It's just the mats, and that's it.
Okay, I think I'm covering my mic. Try this again, okay.
Okay. Okay, so now let's slide that left foot down onto the mat so that the ankles are crossed. We can unfold the arms and bring them out into a big wingspan, and then try to lift onto the toes.
Okay.
And this is Phoenix pose.
We're reborn.
Yeah, for like rising from the ashes, rising from destruction, I guess.
Rising back from death.
Yeah, it's all very symbolic. Okay, let's lower to the mat. I bet that one of the best parts of writing this was like researching all of the food.
Oh yes.
In like New York and wherever else. And like researching all the different like types of cuisine. So left arm goes under right, if possible.
It was actually really great to get to research this book. Eating in restaurants is one of my favorite things.
Yes.
So I think that's part of what I gravitated towards when I had this idea, just being able to kind of do that and call it research.
Yeah.
But even just like eating in dives, eating in kind of hole in the walls, that's also very much part of my makeup and my own DNA. I love to just try different foods, different cuisines. Anything is up for grabs.
Yeah.
Getting to do that and really focusing on like what I was eating, how I was eating it, my experience like in that space, embodying, you know, again, like the hole in the wall pizza place versus like a Michelin star restaurant. What does that feel like?
Right.
And trying to put that on the page was really fun.
Yeah.
I also ate like my entire body weight in Reese's Cups.
Oh, right.
So Reese's Cups recur throughout the novel.
Yes. Yeah.
They're one of the aftertastes that come back again and again and again, and Kostya tastes them over and over. That was one that I had to really take one for the team and eat a lot of them to really get the textures right for all of you reading it.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
They should be one of your sponsors. Yeah, Reese's should really like sponsor your like Instagram page or whatever.
Reese's, holler at me.
Yeah. What was the hardest part of writing a story like this?
I think the hardest part was, you know, processing my own grief and my own feelings around that in order to do it properly and to do it justice on the page. And a big part of Aftertaste are these different scenes where Kostya performs these reunions between the living and their dead.
Yeah.
And so having to kind of embody different people with different experiences of grief, because there's so many, like everyone grieves differently. There's so many different processes, and it's so personal, and it's hard to think about. So to kind of put myself in the headspace of these different characters, and what is it that is keeping them from sort of moving forward after a terrible loss? Like, so sitting with that, I think, was hard.
Now we're going to come into everybody's favorite, floating ghost. And we're floating ghosts. Ooh. And different cultures too, like process grief differently or view death differently and view the afterlife differently. So like, I thought it was interesting, one of the first people that he helps is a nun. And that's a whole other set of
beliefs about what an afterlife is. How do you get there? What do you have to do to have a good one?
Yeah.
All of that. Yeah, it was actually fascinating. Part of the research that I did for this book was also thinking about not just like, what does grief and death look like in different cultures, but what does food look like with grief and death in cultures? And there's so many culinary traditions, like, you know, there's so many just festivals and ceremonies that deal with using food to call back somebody who's passed, whether it's to feed a spirit that is hungry and suffering, or to welcome a spirit back to its family. It's really amazing how food is this tie specifically to the spiritual realm.
Right. I have a little personal anecdote about that, actually, that just occurred to me. This is gate pose for the like the veil, the gate between the two.
The living and the dead.
The living and the dead, yeah, which grows thinner and thinner during the fall, by the way. But yeah, my daughter is 6 years old. She's obsessed with this book of like Halloween facts. And it's just like,
as one should be,
random stuff. Like Reese's is the most popular Halloween candy in the US or something like that.
Because it's the best.
Yeah, so like according to surveys, this and that, whatever. And there's this one factoid that was like, you know, people used to leave bread and water out because like the spirits like bread or whatever. I don't know.
Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And my daughter like became transfixed with that. And she was like, she's completely completely obsessed with this fact, and she keeps talking about it. She was like, I want to leave some bread out for Grandma Mary on Halloween.
Oh, that's really beautiful.
I know. And she was like, she deserves a lot of bread for raising you or something like that, or taking care of you. She was like, she deserves lots of bread.
Through her.
I know, right? I was like, well, gee, oh my goodness, you guys are like ganging up on me somehow, even though she's like not here anymore.
I love that she has that connection though.
Yeah.
I love that, like, I feel like when you're young, it's so easy to not be frightened of the possibility of embracing the other side and like talking to spirits and having that kind of connection. And I think as you get older, you get like the heebie-jeebies about it because you've seen enough pop culture where you're like, oh, ghosts are creepy and ghosts are haunting. But I feel like there's a distinction between ghosts and spirits, like capital G ghosts, like the physical manifestation of something, versus the spirit of someone who's passed on. And that can show up in so many ways. And
that can be like really comforting. Like I remember when Coco came out, this is sort of seal pose, which is also fleur de sel coded. And now we're gonna do banana. Banana. Because it's one of the few like actual foods that I can think of. Palms together overhead and banana. To the left, banana.
This is so appealing.
Oh my gosh.
I love this a bunch. I'm so full of them. I only talk in food puns after writing this book.
Oh, I love it so much. Yes.
But yeah, I feel like when you're open to kind of interpreting different things as an interaction with something from beyond, you get this like additional benefit. Like when you're young, it's so easy to open yourself up to something like the world of Coco.
Yes.
Where all of a sudden you accept that there's magic having to do with the afterlife or with being gone. But I feel like as you're older, if you're open to it, the universe will send you signs and you can like dismiss them. You can explain them away rationally with like, you know, a coincidence or something like that. But it's funny, as I was writing this book, I had things happen that I was like, this is, you know, these are my relatives, my ancestors kind of reaching out and saying, hey.
Yeah, like I was gonna ask you, here, let's go to center and then to the right for a right side banana.
Right banana.
Right banana.
Better than a wrong banana.
Right. I was gonna ask you if you've had any like experiences with a spirit or.
So I've never seen a ghost, like capital G ghost.
Yeah.
But I have spiritual experiences all the time where I'm convinced beyond a doubt that the people that I love are communicating with me in one way or another.
Yeah.
And actually, when I was writing Aftertaste, there's a scene, like somewhere towards the middle of the book, where there's this culinary throwdown. And it's sort of like a Iron Chef, Top Chef situation where there's several chefs and they're competing.
Yeah.
And Kostya is one of these chefs, and he knows that he's going to make an aftertaste for his dish, and he just has to find a way to like get the flavor.
Okay.
And so the aftertaste that winds up coming through to him comes from a character that I called Baba Fira. So I called her that because my grandmother's cousin was named Fira, and I met her like one time when I was about 6 or 7. She came over from Ukraine to visit us for about a week, and I just decided to name this character after her. And then I was thinking about what the dish would be, and I said, why don't I make a borscht, but I'm gonna put all this like weird stuff in it. I said I'm gonna put ketchup in it and Miracle Whip, like all these things that really have no business being in borscht, and that'll be kind of the way that the character that's alive knows that it's her grandmother reaching out to her. I wrote this scene, and I wound up months later sending the book to my older brother to read. So he's 10 years older. He grew up with Fira. He knew her very well. And he's live texting me as he's reading the book. And he's like, listen, you had me in my feelings for a lot of this, but like I really started to cry when I got to Baba Fira. He's like, I can't believe you put her borscht in there.
Oh my God.
I was like, what do you mean I put her borscht? I've never tasted her borscht. I don't know what she puts in it. And he's like, she put ketchup in hers. Like, how did you know that? I was like, I didn't know that at all. But again, that's like, I feel like that was her spirit, like giving me a little wink, being like, hey.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, she absolutely was.
Because I don't know how else you explain that, you know? Like,
right.
Even in your rational mind.
Right. I have more questions, but first of all, I have 2 crystals. They're for the heart chakra.
Oh, amazing.
So you can place them like right on your heart while we are in Shavasana or corpse pose. Which,
I love it. Oh.
As we know.
Rest in peace.
Yes. So this is rose quartz. It's good for like drawing love and self-love and compassion and sweetness, I guess. And then this is green aventurine. Aventurine. It's called aventurine. It is supposed to manifest abundance and prosperity and confidence and things like that.
Oh, I love them both. And it's so interesting. I feel like Costume would probably choose green at the start of the book and pink towards the end.
That's so true.
So I'm going to go with where he ends up. I'm going to go with the quartz.
Okay, awesome. Let's get into corpse pose in honor of all the corpses.
All the spirits.
Yes, all the spirits. That's a little bit sweeter way of putting it, I guess. Yeah, I was wondering too, because things like the interactions with the spirits and stuff, I wondered if any of that came from your own experiences, but also like in imagining the near-death experiences that occur in the book and like what it's like to actually experience that. Like, I wonder where you found that, or if you just like purely dreamed it up, or if that was based on some kind of like cultural concept, or something that you've read, or
a little of both. Mild spoiler alert. So throughout the course of the book, Maura, the love interest, it's revealed that she has in fact been visiting the afterlife through these near-death experiences. And so each one is kind of unique, and as you can imagine, each time she does it, things escalate. Initially, I was like, this truly was one of those things where I don't outline when I write. And at one point, I just wrote the line, "The first time I died," and something like clicked and unlocked in my head.
What a great first line.
Writing
like,
from this from this character's point of view.
Yeah.
Because it sort of flowed out of me, but when I was thinking about what that experience is like, I did do research into people's like accounts of their own near-death experiences. And what's so interesting is that there are so many aspects that kind of overlap. Like a lot of people report seeing bright light, seeing or hearing somebody they loved saying, "Come on, it's okay, we're safe now." I took that kind of into account, and then I wanted to turn it on its head because I wanted to make it clear this is very much not a typical near-death experience. But one thing that I read that I did borrow from was this idea of floating above your body and kind of watching everything happen around you, like as though you're an observer outside of your physical plane. So that's what happens the first time that Maura has a near-death experience, which is an accident. And then when she goes back for more, and there is absolutely intended a pun with her name, Maura and more, and this idea of being insatiable and going back and never being satisfied. So when she goes back for more of these experiences, she has experiences that are purely fictionalized, like things that I imagined would happen now that she's crossed over where she was never meant to go in the first place.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I mean, there is so much like documented about like people who have had near-death experiences, and it's interesting how a lot of them align with each other, where you're like, wow,
there's a whole subculture. There's like conferences where near-deathers get together and like talk about these experiences.
Yeah.
I think inherently as people, we wonder what happens after.
Yes.
Like when someone is gone, like what more is there? Like, is there more?
Right.
It gives me comfort to believe as a person that there is more.
Right.
And so you want to hear these experiences from people who claim to have seen something and felt something. It's this support for that idea that there's something else there.
Yeah, and it's comforting too, because it takes some of the fear out of it too, where it's like, I think what people fear about death is like the unknown, where like what actually happens during that passage of like from living to dead. And it's comforting to hear, because like if you know somebody who has died, you want to believe that they didn't suffer, or that it wasn't scary for them.
Right. Someplace comforting and calm and peaceful.
Yeah. You want to know that, and then it also takes the fear out of like that for us, where it's like it's going to happen for all of us, so we can't live in fear of it our entire lives. It's debilitating.
I think that's part of why every religion has their own point of view about what happens after, right? Because it's like that's a big fixation for the living, like what happens afterwards.
Yes, yeah, and it's like an attempt at control too, where it's like this is something we absolutely have no idea, like no concrete evidence of.
So let's put a narrative around it.
Yes,
exactly. Try to explain it and make it accessible that way.
Right. Speaking of Coco and things like that, and children kind of gravitating towards these narratives of like, they might be more accepting of it and open to it because ghosts aren't scary that way. They're loved ones who just like love you and want to see you again, or watching over you, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And it takes the fear out of that.
It's funny. I know it's not necessarily about death, but in Kanto, I feel that same way about like whenever there's that scene with the butterflies.
Yeah.
And there's the reunion with the grandmother and Mirabelle. And I just lose it every time, because I'm like, I see the butterflies and I see the grandfather, and like I know what the grandmother is seeing.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I think watching as an adult, you can access that in a way that children watching might not.
Yes.
Every single time, like the notes of that song start to play, I'm just like, here we go.
Oh no. Oh, so speaking of movies, Aftertaste is going to become a movie. Is that right?
Yeah, it got purchased by Sony to
Oh my gosh.
create a movie, which was like the craziest phone call I've ever gotten in my entire life.
I bet. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was one of those things that I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
They acquired the rights before we even had a U.S. publisher. That's how like long I've been sitting on that
wow.
secret. Yeah.
That's nutty. I didn't know that was even like something that could happen.
When we were going out with the manuscript, one of the places that it went out happened to get to a film agent and to the studio producers, studio heads, and they read it over a weekend and were very into it, which was amazing.
I mean, it's very cinematic. It's like incredibly like the way that it reads is like it's visual. I don't know how else to put it.
I write in my head very visually, like the ideas that I get when I get that first spark. They're all scenes. They're all like I can see them playing through my mind, and I've heard other writers and even readers say like, oh, I can't visualize it. I just like read the words, and I don't. That doesn't compute in my head. Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? I can only see the scenes.
I'm the same way. Especially like whenever I would ride the subway or the train or whatever, I would put headphones in, and I would see like movies play out like in my mind. And sometimes that would make it into my writing because I'm like, I just can see it so vividly.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's the music that would bring it to life in my head, but I could also, because it would feel like a soundtrack to a certain scene. Totally. And then that would inspire something that I would write. But yeah, I always have to see it first.
Totally.
Yeah.
When I was writing Aftertaste, I had this like very cinematic set of sequences that I wanted to make sure were in there.
Yeah.
So the opening scene where Costa's at the pool, the verse scene where he tastes something, the scene where he first brings the spirit back, his first scene with Mora. Yeah. All of those things were very visual and visceral in my mind, and it was amazing to see the studio get so excited about it and to want to bring it to life. So fingers crossed I'll get to sit in a movie theater one day and actually get to see it with some popcorn. That
is so awesome. So who would be your like ideal Kostya and Mora?
Kostya's really tough.
I know.
He's a really tough one. I mean,
I was first thinking Pablo, what's his name?
I don't know.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. I was gonna say, wait.
We're gonna cut that out.
I could see Pedro Pascal. I feel like he's maybe a little bit too old.
Long in the tooth, yeah.
Because Kostya's got to be like early 30s looking, which increasingly looks more like what the 20s used to look like in the 90s.
It's so true.
In 2000s. So weird. I felt like Miles Teller could be an interesting one. I feel like he has a lot of range and he's just an excellent actor.
I could see that.
But he's a really hard one for me because he's so personal to me.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to think of exactly who it would be. But I feel like Mora, Anya Taylor-Joy always came up in my mind. I feel like she'd be really, really good at it.
She's got that like delicate frame too, where it's like, I always envisioned her in the book as being like very waifish and very like delicate, fragile. Delicate
and like fading away because that's kind of what happens to her emotionally. Who for Frankie? Mason Gooding would have been a great choice for Frankie. He's Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son.
Oh, okay.
He's been in a bunch of horror movies. He's one of these like incredibly charismatic, like good-looking, magnetic personalities, and physically he totally matches what I picture Frankie as.
Yeah.
Those are the three that I have in my head, but I'll be excited to see what the studio comes up with.
Yeah.
That's when a person who's actually qualified to cast would cast. But it's just so exciting to think about like your art being interpreted by somebody else and then interpreted for other people in an interesting way. So I feel like it's a big kind of open question, but the way that the folks that I've talked to have thought about the book and the way they want to bring it to life, it feels very true to the nature of the book.
Yeah.
It's like this balance of darkness and light and finding people that can bring to life like the humor, but also the poignancy of it.
Yeah.
So I feel really lucky that they're excited to work on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so exciting. On that note of the future, things to look forward to. Let's bring the palms together at Heart Center. I really appreciate that you came out and did this with me.
Of course, I'm so excited to get to do this. This is so cool. How often do you get to do yoga poses for your book? It's amazing.
Yeah, yoga poses that were like chosen because they like go with the theme and the narrative.
Yeah, it's really special.
I know, it's like, I feel like yoga is a narrative practice anyway.
It totally is. It's storytelling, but with your body.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And you can feel the story like more deeply, or at least I can. I don't know.
Yes, so you should all go feel the story and
Feel the
practice these
story.
poses.
Yeah, yeah. You can read it while you're in seal pose or
Or corpse pose. Just,
or corpse pose. I wish you all the best, and I can't wait to read your next book too.
Thank you so much. I'm working on it.
Good, good, good. Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay. You should keep that, by the way. I have a little pouch for you to take it home.
Thank you. That's so nice.
Yeah.